Now, right behind me is Rusinga Island. It is one of the 17 islands that make up Suba district. Now, this district is really the epicenter of HIV infection in the country, with a prevalence of 26%, meaning that every fourth person in Suba district is HIV positive. But this is much lower than the 90s, when pockets of the district reported prevalence that was as high as 65%. As a result, non-governmental organizations, community-based organizations have flocked that district to offer services. But have they really had any impact on the ground? Life here revolves around the lake. The major economic activity is fishing. The fishing industry here is one of the biggest contributors to the spread of HIV through the practice of jaboya. The fishermen arrive at the shores with their catch in the morning. They find women waiting to buy the commodity. Over the years, the quantity of fish in the lake has been reducing while the demand increases. Some fishermen have taken advantage of this situation and ask for pay in kind. They become jaboya. At Karungu, we meet two reformed jaboya. Eli Odoyo says he quit after he discovered he was HIV positive. He has since joined a self-help group for people living with HIV. The jaboya practice is a known issue here. Dealing with it has proved challenging. Suba District AIDS Coordinator Joseph Onyango explains that the nature of fishing trade has made it difficult to deal with jaboya.
The kind of migratory situation among the population is very high because mostly people trade here on fish, and there are times you find them migrating to other beaches or areas to look for fish. So you find maybe you might get lost out population.
And so jaboya and other cultural practices continue to fuel HIV infection here. Before anti-retroviral treatment was made available, AIDS had wiped out a generation here, we're told. Homes were left without breadwinners. Schools like Waondo Secondary are still dealing with the impact of AIDS. Simeon Ratego is the principal here. Every day, he finds himself dealing with many issues affecting orphans. He says that half the population of Waondo School is orphaned.
We have a total of about 400 students, but I would confidently say that 200 and slightly above of it is orphaned in one way or the other. Either total orphan or semi-orphan.
Waondo is a day school, so learning is free. The school started a lunch program because the students come from very far and walk up to 3 hours to get to school. The lunch is charged at 28 shillings per day. But many cannot afford this fee. For some, the lunch is the only decent meal they can get every day.
When you came, you just found me doing a letter to the DC requesting for relief food assistance from their supplies. Because this is the only way we can have them get proper lunch in school or get something to eat in school.
Ratego informs us that since January, some Form 1 students have not paid a cent. Some still come to school in their primary school uniform. A few students here have benefited from bursaries from community-based organizations and the Constituency Development Fund. Job Omolo, a Form 3 student, is one of the beneficiaries of such a program. He is a total orphan, but with big dreams.
I would like to go to university and later on become a lawyer.
Before he can realize his dream, he has challenges to overcome.
I was sponsored by Nyaroya self-help group, which has been paying for me fee since Form 1 up to now. They stopped paying my fee this year.
Omolo's sponsor, Nyaroya B Self-Help Group, has its offices located just a few minutes' walk from his school. The group started in 2004 and currently has 26 members. According to their records, they have received close to 1.5 million shillings from donors, their biggest being AMREF Manisha program. The group says that some of the money was used to pay school fees and buy uniforms for orphans. To date, they have assisted 85 bright orphans in primary school, 24 in secondary school, and 1 in college. But since funding ended last year, the activities have ground to a halt, except for this greenhouse project. For the group, this project is meant to continue generating income to sustain their programs. But the returns are still meager compared to the donor funds they received before. That means that orphans like Omolo will find it difficult to stay in school, and the vicious cycle of poverty will continue. For the girls at the school, the challenges are even bigger.
Some of them are the breadwinners, as you may find in some of their write-ups here. But because, they don't have an income, some of them would pay for the service or for the support they get from other people in kind. From there, pregnancy comes in. So they take care of their siblings and they take care of their children. We also need them in school.
School records show that 35 girls out of a population of 140 are mothers. The principal, Ratego, has opted to keep them at school and give them breaks to go home to breastfeed their babies. He hopes that this move will improve the lives of these girls. Join me and Soy-Mwendia in the second part of AIDS, the re-emerging threat, as we take a look at the burden of opportunistic infections on people living with HIV amid dwindling funds.